All right, guys, welcome on the second episode on scholarship and admission program. Okay, so yesterday I was giving you guys some tips on how to tackle the admission process, or as a newbie looking for admission into your dream school, how to go about that. Right, so today I'll be giving you guys some other tips and to clarify some traditional method or ways of doing things that we think that's the best way of always doing this thing. But I want to cancel that traditional ideology or that stereotype mentality that especially us Africans we have. Do you know that you can use PhD as a scholarship scheme? Do you know that that is very, very possible? Like using PhD as a scholarship scheme. Now you might want to ask me, how does that happen? Now we are used to this traditional method of doing things that we always kind of like transition. We know that we have to start from getting a bachelor's degree, then after having that bachelor's degree we now do our master's degree, then after having a master's degree we now go to a PhD. But here abroad, that's not how they do it. That's back there in Africa. But here abroad, that's not how they do it. In fact, what they require to apply for a PhD as a prerequisite for a PhD program is your bachelor's degree. Many people don't know that. And now you're gaining admission using your bachelor's degree, you gaining admission into a PhD program using your bachelor's degree. That PhD program can serve as a scholarship scheme. Why do I say that? There are type of scholarship. There's fully funded scholarship. There's partially funded scholarship, right? But this PhD as a scholarship scheme that I'm talking about is because your tuition will be waived. So what happens is, when you get admission as a PhD student, you go for your visa interview and you are being granted a visa. So your family will look for money to send you abroad. So when you reach here as a PhD student, especially in sciences, you're always required to do what they call TA, that's teaching assistantship. And there's also what they call RA, that's a research assistantship, especially in a research whereby you have funding. So now when you are a PhD student, like, it's a must for a PhD student because they will be giving you stipend. And you doing the TA program, that teaching assistantship program, will serve as they will use the opportunity to waive your tuition. Why? Because you are rendering a service to them. So you are teaching undergraduate level students or lower students. So that service that you are rendering to them, that effort, that time you are putting in teaching those students, so they convert that into paying your tuition for you as a PhD student. So your tuition is kind of waived. So imagine that you are a PhD student or you are a student and your tuition is waived and they still give you stipend. Take for example like my university, Arizona State University. So PhD student here receives stipend of about $29,000 and about 29,000 something dollars, yeah, something like that. So now that's for a year, which means each 2 weeks, or let me say like close to a month, they receive about $800 to $900, like no, about $1,200 that they receive. Now imagine that they pay you $1,200 in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. In that money you can afford your rent. Let me say your rent is $500, or let me say about $600. So in a case whereby you might even pair up with some students, the money might even be lower. Now you have the remaining money on you. So let me say if you receive $1,200 or $1,000 and you pay your rent about $600 to $500, how much is left? You do the math. So that money, let me say about $600 is left, or let me say about $700 is left after paying rent. You see that the money that is left can be used to even pay some other bills and take care of yourself and your feeding. So which means it kind of a scholarship because you don't have to pay tuition from your pocket, but the school does pay tuition for you. So that's what I mean by a scholarship scheme. And so this ideology or this mentality, this thinking that we have, that you must always have a master degree to apply for a PhD, is a lie. If you think I'm lying, go and check. Just Google the schools that have been listing on the site, especially US schools. Check what they require. Well, those things can be done sometimes in the in UK. I understand, but in the US, they mostly need your bachelor's degree for you to get a PhD admission. Especially if during your undergraduate you carried research, which is very, very good, because they need someone, especially in sciences, someone who has research exposure. And if you have publications too, that's a plus, which is very, very good for your admission process. So what they require for you to apply for a PhD is your bachelor's degree. Many people don't know this. I know many people might be very kind of reluctant to browse or to surf the net, to browse website of schools to read all those things. I know, say reading is hard some people at times. I understand all those kind of stuff. So that's it. So when you go there, you try to like check those things, see what they require. As for me, I always advise many of my friends, some of my past students, or my colleague who called me and say, how far, what should I do with this thing? I'm like, bro, apply for a PhD program, especially if you have a very good GPA. After all, what they require, as a GPA for admission is 3.0 and 4.0, but that doesn't mean 3.0 is competitive enough. If you come with 3.0, that people are coming with 3.8 on 4, 3.5, 3.7, 3.6, 3.9. Some say they come with 4.0 and 4.0. So you have to get competitive in order to meet those rankings. So transitioning to a PhD program with a bachelor's degree is the right way to go about it if you have a very strong GPA. Please take note of that. I have my friend who got admitted in one of the universities in the US without any publication. He got a PhD from Bachelor. It's not like a say he got admission, and he even sent me his admission letter, and I saw that. So from bachelor's degree chemistry to PhD chemistry in a university in the US. So now, based on so many questions that many people have been asking from the last video that I posted, that between UK and US, which one should I recommend for them to come and study? So that was a tough one, but for me, I yielded to this advice when in my final year from one of my professors in chemistry, in polymer chemistry. His name is Professor Taibe. So he was telling us that studying in the UK, if they study for UK, let me use it in Nigerian pidgin. If they study for UK, it means your papa get money, or if one study, your father not a politician. So what he actually meant in that sense is UK schools without scholarship is very expensive for you to, like, it's not like studying, well, it isn't like studying in the UK, but like trying to like live or hustle in the UK, which means your father is a politician. To study in the UK is good. I think their fees sometimes even cheaper than those in the US. I know Canadian schools too are cheaper too. In fact, now those ones are the cheapest, and there are a lot of opportunities. Well, for Canada, that's a talk on its own, a different day. I will dissect that differently. So what I mean by that is, you studying in the UK is good and it's cheaper to study, but what happens when you finish your education there? Many of us are, let's be honest, many of us are trying to japa or are trying to travel abroad via education to make ends meet, to have a better life for ourselves, right? So right now, when you go to a country whereby when you're done studying and the next step is to hustle, how do you go about it? So in this case, I would say the US is better. It's so much better that in terms of the standard of living and hustling wise, I recommend US for you guys. But you have your own opinion, and you can make your own choice. but studying here and after that you get to work, maybe you have an H1B visa and they employ you and they fight for your green card and you become a permanent resident. It's something very nice because it's good to hustle in this country. It's favorable to hustle, unlike the others. So that's what I was trying to tell you guys. So just know that it's very possible for you to transition from bachelor, let me say, like, to get a PhD degree with your bachelor's degree. In fact, that is the norm. That is what they do here abroad. That's what they do in the US. That's what they do in most schools. Like, use your bachelor's degree to apply for PhD. Right. So thank you guys. Like I said, please follow my YouTube channel. I'm going to be posting more of this stuff, more of the findings. I'll post more scholarship when I come across them, and I will be telling you those that are currently going on so that you can apply. And also, what I'm going to be using my YouTube channel to be doing in the long run is to, like, take some undergraduate level chemistry courses or graduate level chemistry courses and high school chemistry courses that people think is very tough. So I'll be taking those courses for you guys. So you just stay back and enjoy yourself. Please follow my page. Also subscribe on my YouTube channel, because I'm really going to be doing great things there, especially the chemistry aspect. I'm going to demystify chemistry for you guys. I'm very good at that. Like, bring that thing that I think is tough to the lowest level, and you guys can even recommend topic that you want me to teach on. I will gladly do that. All right guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it.